So my mum has been in a nursing care home now for 3 years at the cost of almost £7,000 a month. She self-funded all that time. But we were told that she was due for continuing healthcare assessment and that she was likely to meet the criteria to get full funding. And then we received a phone call where we were also told that she was unlikely to get full funding. So my husband, as a retired GP, started to look into it and said that he would come to the DST meeting to back me up. But even when he was looking at the DST report tools, he found the jargon somewhat difficult to understand, and he was also feeling out of his depth. So with 10 days to go, he did some Google research and stumbled across the company Compass. Now, Compass are willing to represent you as almost like a legal firm to help you get your best chance at getting the full funding, because the NHS tool is just an absolute minefield and difficult to understand. We were a bit hesitant at first because it was a lot of money to pay up front. We researched them and it all seemed very, very above board. And then we had a free assessment phone call with Compass. And having spoken to them, we decided it was the right thing to do, and all our fears were allayed in that phone call. So we went forward with confidence. And what a good decision it turned out to be, because our advocate, Kofi, was very professional and he really represented us well at that meeting. The nurse assessor had obviously turned up with her mind made up that she wasn't going to be awarding any funding that day. The social worker didn't contribute anything. He didn't even know who we were talking about. And the nurse from the care home, whilst very nice, was really ill prepared and only gave yes and no answers. And it was only because Kofi was very clever, asking the same thing in a lot of different ways, he managed to get much more detailed answer from her, which made all the difference in the criteria that the nurse assessors finally came out with. At the end of the day, he was very professional, he was very firm, and he knew his stuff, and he'd done all of that in a very short space of time. They're getting the records from the bodies that they needed and research it. He knew my mum's case better than anybody else at that meeting. We received a phone call later that afternoon telling us that we had been successful in getting full funding, and quite frankly we wouldn't have done that had we not been represented by Kofi and Compass. We would have been happy with the process anyway had it gone negative, because we felt that we'd given it our best shot and that there wasn't anything more that we could have done or that Kofi could have done to have influenced the outcome any further. But happily to say, we did get a positive outcome. So we would highly recommend Compass if you're in the unfortunate position that you have to represent someone who is requesting full funding. So yes, we would recommend Compass, and thank you for all that you did for us.